For you, Josh, just what was going through your head? You got, obviously you had the confidence, coaching had the confidence, but getting in that spot, what was kind of going through your head on the mound?
Just get out of the jam. Winning's important. Shutouts are cool, so I thought go in there, hopefully get some outs, and that's what happened. I got a nice strikeout, and then made a couple pitches. Obviously, was throwing my slider a lot, so had that help me get out of the jam.
What have you seen just as a pitching staff? We've probably asked you this before, but this past month to kind of turn things around, and obviously offense, but pitching staff as well to kind of settle in and settle down.
Yeah, it's been amazing to see all the pitchers do really well. Shutouts are cool. I think we've given up maybe 15 or less runs in the regional and super regional, which is really cool to see. And pitching wins games, hitting wins games, so I think all of it coming together is finally making us win a lot better.
When you guys found out you were playing Auburn yesterday, what was kind of going through your minds getting to face somebody you've already faced this season?
I haven't even thought about that yet, but no, I mean, it'll be fun. I know they've got a couple really good hitters on their team, so we'll look at some video and see our approach.
I've heard so much about leadership with this team, the way the veterans kind of took over. In the bullpen on the pitching staff, who are those guys that kind of kept you guys going when things were tough?
Brandon Johnson's a really good guy. He is always bringing the energy and lifting everybody up, and Trophy, he's always been there for us, so I think it's a lot of older guys, but a lot of younger guys too, and just seeing everybody succeed brings the energy up, and I think that just seeing people succeed brings everybody up as well.
Looking at last year, fast forward to, the Coral Gables Regional. Ballpark, what happened? I mean, how in the world do you flip the switch that good and become so dominant this late in the season?
I don't know. I'm kind of doing a different style of pitching. Last year I threw like a 3-pitch mix, like heavy fastball, heavy slider, heavy changeup. This year I've kind of shifted that to a little more slider heavy, and I realized that was one of my best pitches, and if I have a good bullet in my arsenal, I might as well use that a lot more than if I have an average bullet. So it's kind of the thing that's stepped my game up a little bit more.
What opened up your velo? Because you're throwing the fastball less, but it seems like you're throwing a lot harder.
Just getting stronger, eating better, lifting more, kind of just getting older. I guess I never really velo trained, so it's just kind of come there naturally, I guess.
Josh, how comfortable did it feel, when you came in, your team was up 10-0, and you just were going 3-3 in relief? Did it feel a lot more comfortable knowing that y'all had just the lead that y'all had?
Absolutely. I mean, pitching with a lead is awesome. You love it when the pack shows up like that, puts up 10 runs. It makes pitching a lot less stressful.
For you, what was kind of working through that 3 1/3? Just obviously continued what DeLucia had done prior to that.
Just commanding my fastball. I mean, when you're in a 10-run game, it's not like you're trying to strike everybody out. It's just putting fastballs where they can hit it, hopefully hit it soft and get outs.
Getting Lucian and Hunter Elliott kind of set up as your 1 and 2 guys, does that kind of help the bullpen settle down, kind of knowing where everybody's kind of going to have their roles?
Absolutely. I mean, those 2 guys have been unbelievable. I give them all the credit in the world. They've gone out and really showed what they can do as a pitcher, and it makes pitching in the bullpen a lot easier with guys like that ahead of you.
What do you remember about that Auburn team back in March, when y'all went there, and what you kind of expect to see this time around?
I think it was a different team back then. They've obviously figured some stuff out, and they're playing good baseball. But, I think we match up well against them. I think it'll be a really good, fun game.
From last year to this year, how have you seen Alex kind of grow out of the pen?
He's been unbelievable. I think it's mostly a confidence thing. He came in as a freshman, didn't really have the confidence that he has now. And now that he has that, he's just been lights out for weeks now.
Just your journey through the season. Obviously, last time y'all played Auburn, you were in a very different position. When did things kind of start clicking again for you? When did you kind of rediscover your groove?
I'd say when DeLucia and Hunter really got their roles. Solidifying a spot in the bullpen, knowing that's going to be my role, it helps with the whole identity thing and really just going out there and pitching like myself.
So does your mindset change at all when you know that role is solidified, or is it, are you just trying to get out there and throw zeros?
Difference between bullpen and starting is a little bit different. You got to worry about longevity as a starter, but bullpen, you just got to go out there and get outs for the guys who pitch ahead of you.
Heading to Omaha, a dream that I'm sure you've had since you were a kid. Just what is your thought process getting ahead there?
It was unbelievable. Dog pound on the field at Southern Miss was something I'll never forget, but I think winning it all will be a lot cooler.
Where were you in the pile?
Very bottom. Very bottom. And I heard Josh Mallitz screaming the entire time. He wasn't a very good bottom of the dog pile guy.
How long did it take you to get out of there?
Felt like 20 minutes, but it was probably like 45 seconds, but it felt like forever.
What did it mean to get in at like midnight that night and just see the fans y'all did have outside waiting for y'all to show up?
That's unbelievable. The fan base here is unlike any other. I mean, that's why you come here, for the constant support from the fans. It was really cool to see all of them waiting there when the bus got there.
The gold this week.
Honestly, I don't know, because I wore this thing yesterday, and so I'm guessing they just copy and pasted it over for today. I don't know. But the normal stuff, I guess, I don't know.
Can you put into words just the emotions, when y'all were running together and dogpiling there?
It was super cool, and it's something we had talked about and kind of dreamed, before the season even started. That's always been a part of our goal, and obviously our biggest goal is to, win the whole thing. But it was super special for this team and for the program and everything. I was also really just happy for Coach B. It was awesome.
Past 2 weeks, the Coral Gables and Hattiesburg, what does you feel has just clicked to make y'all kind of like the team maybe everybody felt y'all could do all year?
Yeah, I think our biggest thing was we're putting both the offense and the defense together now. A lot of the times earlier in the season, whenever we weren't doing as well, it's like our pitching was doing well, and then our hitters weren't, or our hitters were doing well, and our pitching wasn't. But it seems like lately we're kind of putting it all together, which is cool.
Any extra relief heading into the tournament, knowing you guys won't have to face Tennessee again?
Yeah, man, they're a great team, and it's crazy that they're out. I don't think anybody would have thought that they'd be out. Yeah, it probably does, to be honest with you. They're an unbelievable team when we play them.
Talk about what you've seen with Garrett Wood offensively in 2 out of 3 games. He's reaching base multiple times. I mean, what have you kind of seen from him?
I think the coolest thing for him is he is. I don't think anybody would argue he is the best teammate we have. He's been there for us the whole year. He's been around cheering us on and stuff, and everybody knew he was capable of doing it. Coach B says it all the time, if I'm going to put you in, I believe in you, and I believe that you're going to get it done and help the team out. And it is really cool for us. I think everybody was excited to see him do well.
It's pretty wild that there's 4 SEC West teams in the College World Series.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you come to play in the SEC. It's I believe it's the best, conference there is out there, the best amateur baseball you could probably play. It is really cool. It's awesome for the SEC.
Did you watch that Game 3 last night in Corvallis? Or?
A little bit. I started watching it, and we've got a huge pickleball game that we've been playing recently, so we went and played some pickleball. But, yeah, I watched a little bit of it.
When y'all get there Thursday for practice, just for you, what's kind of going to be the emotions getting in that stadium for the first time, taking BP?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how I'm going to feel. I mean, I'm going to obviously be really excited. I don't know what it's like. I've never been. I'm sure there'll be some nerves, some chills walking into the stadium and everything, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
I got to know who plays pickleball, who's the best pickleball player.
So me, Garrett Wood, Drew McDaniel, Banks Tolley, Kemp. Kemp is not the best player. I'm not gonna lie. There's a couple of us that go. We're not that great at it. We just start playing, but boy, is it fun. It's awesome.
Whenever you've played in a big environment, at any point during your career, whether it be in Arlington or whether it be, here, and when you get into those big games, and if there is any nerves running, what's kind of your just mentality going in, or how you kind of overcome that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I started doing recently is a lot of visualization. I believe a lot that thoughts become things, and to be able to visualize me hitting the ball or fielding a ground ball or anything like that, I really do think it helps a lot. And I try to do that kind of stuff, and even just the preparation that we've done and we practice almost every single day now, you have a lot of confidence that just gets built up from the amount of work you've put into it.
Getting to play Auburn, a team you guys have already faced this year, does that give you any comfort as a player, kind of knowing what their team looks like a little bit?
Sure. We played them early, so I think both of us are in different points in our season now. They're no doubt going to be a good team, but I think, if we go out there and play the way we're capable of playing, I think we're capable of beating anybody, yeah.
Y'all have really been crushing the ball third time through the lineup. What is it about this team that can make those adjustments on the fly? Where is the strength in adjustment?
Yeah, I don't know. Like earlier, I don't know what clicked exactly, but it just seems to be something that we've started to do and something that we believed we were able to do all year. It's just we haven't quite been able to do it until just recently. I think probably a little bit of that is having a really good hitting coach. I think that helps a lot, but yeah, I don't know exactly what has honestly clicked. I don't know.
Has it sunk in yet that you're going to the College World Series?
Yeah, it's starting to now. It took a day or two for sure, but now I grew up watching the College World Series and been dreaming of getting there for the last couple of years, and now I finally get to play there. So it's a dream come true, and we're fired up to get there.
What's this last month been just for the team? Just how drastically y'all kind of turned things around?
It's been a crazy journey. I mean, just super fun, just getting to play and play our best baseball when it matters. It obviously got hot here at the end, and it's been a cool journey and really fun.
When you caught that final out there at the end, that final pop up, I mean, what was kind of just the emotions just kind of run through your head at that time?
Just a lot of stuff, I just obviously excited, but just thankful and just so many things. Like I said, it's just been a crazy season and really a crazy journey just for me individually in the last 5 years. And I'm so proud of the team for just sticking with it through the whole season, through the ups and the downs. But just so many emotions, just happiness and thankfulness, and just excited to be going to Omaha.
When you were going through an SEC West schedule this year, did you see 4 SEC West teams in Omaha? Did you think it was that competitive, that tough this year?
I mean, it's that competitive almost every year. It's crazy. I think I saw a tweet that it's like the first time there's been 4 teams from one conference in the College World Series, but it just goes to show that the SEC is a gauntlet. I mean, week in and week out, there's a lot of really good teams in the SEC, and I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I'm really not that surprised because the teams are really just that good.
Obviously playing at Auburn first, what do you remember about that pitching staff, and what do you expect to kind of see this time around?
I mean, they're a good team. All the teams that go to Omaha are good teams, obviously, but they've got some good pitchers and a really good offense. They got Sonny and some of those other guys around them that can whack it around a little bit. So we'll be on our A game. We'll be ready to go.
I know it's been 3 months or so since y'all faced each other, but having that familiarity in a game like Saturday, does that help? Is there anything to that, or is it?
It always helps a little bit when you're playing somebody you played before. You can think back and watch video and just kind of have a little bit of an idea of what you're facing. But we're ready to play whoever we need to. But we're excited about it.
Were you watching that series in Corvallis, or did you just kind of tune out from it?
Yeah, I was watching it. Most of us were watching it, especially yesterday. Just to see who we were going to play. But yeah.
What was it like getting back here Monday or Sunday night with all the fans? I think it was like 11:50 p.m. They're all here. What was that moment like, seeing all of them?
It was really cool. Just goes to show, what an amazing program we have here, and great fans, and just people that support us. We really appreciate those that stuck with us through, the hard times, and it just goes to show that we have one of the best fan bases in the country. So I'm really thankful for all those people that showed up.
It seems like there's almost been a turning point this postseason with you guys. You guys have almost looked like a totally different team. Was there something that was said, or just something that clicked here at the end that has helped you guys get to where you're at right now?
I don't know if there was really one specific thing we said. We were trying to kind of do that, leading up in the middle of the season. We were kind of struggling, maybe there'll be a one thing we'll say and we'll turn it around. But really we just kept believing in each other and kept playing as a team, and never pointed fingers, and just stayed together with our belief in each other, and that confidence that we really were one of the best teams in the country still. And I think that's really what got us over the hump.
That tweet from Tanner Allen, you talk about you being a role model, especially after that second game. How much did that mean to you, somebody who's had that success?
It meant a lot. Tanner's always been really nice to me. Since we've been here, we played in a little tournament in high school together, and he's just a really good guy. I really appreciated that. It warmed my heart, and I know it made my parents feel really good too, because they worked hard to try to raise me the right way. So it was really cool to see that, and really appreciate him saying that.
You were there, as an assistant coach at LSU, and then twice here at Ole Miss. How have you just seen, the city of Omaha, change over the years, hosting this event, and just what makes it a special place to host a championship?
Well, there's some similarities, obviously. It's the pinnacle of college baseball, right? It's the mountaintop, and it's what everybody strives for, at the beginning of the year. And so I don't think that's ever changed. And whatever it's been, 70 years, of the College World Series. But obviously the way Omaha's embraced the College World Series, and that's why it's, synonymous, right? Omaha and the College World Series. People don't say I want to get to the College World Series, they say I want to get to Omaha. And so you don't do that without being a special place and without the people in the community embracing it. And it's not just the fan bases, which will have a lot of Ole Miss fans, there, and so will the other 7 schools. But it's, it's embraced so much by the city of Omaha and people around the country. That Mike Clement talks about growing up in Iowa and going to the College World Series when he was a young boy. And not really a fan of anybody, just the fan of the College World Series. And so with that, you see the end of Rosenblatt, several years ago, and then obviously, with the new stadium, Schwab Stadium, I guess now. It's a little hard for me to say right now, but what a cool thing. So I've been as an assistant when I was at Rosenblatt and Neat, and kind of had that historical feel, and but now when you go back, to that Neat Stadium downtown, and it's probably more of a bowl atmosphere, more where you're walking around and every fan is wearing the colors of their schools and their allegiance, and just a neat place.
I felt like there was so much parity in the SEC this year, especially in the West. You look up and now 4 SEC West teams in Omaha. Did you feel that talent when you were going through the gauntlet? Is that something that you can sense?
Yeah, I don't know if it ever feels. We talk about the strength of the SEC and how difficult it is every year. We talk about parity, and it's the question that everybody asks, and I'm sure you've asked it in years past. And I think when you're going through it, you don't look at it that way. You're just looking at the next game. And I know it sounds like coaches speak, but that's the only way you can get through it. But I think probably more so, and the reason for your question this year is probably there's some baseball pundits out there that talked about the SEC being down, or the SEC West, and then you wake up and you look at the end of the year and it's really not the case. And I think that can happen in our league, where you can get fooled. The teams are good, and the same teams may not be good every year or be the best teams, but the league is so good. When you look at the SEC West, and what a great year Auburn's had, and even at 16 wins. But I don't know if you know this, and I think this is a fact. I think they're the most wins in our league that didn't play Tennessee, right? And so 16 wins, really good year. Team that hosts, that's why their RPI was so high. And then the others, obviously Arkansas, had a great year, and what Coach Schlossnagel's done at A&M and the turnaround, just a terrific year for the SEC.
It was 3 months ago, but you played Auburn 3 times. I mean, is there anything to that familiarity-wise heading into a game like Saturday, or is it?
I don't. Yes and no. I mean, people have asked me, with 4 of the teams, 3 on one side. I think the ease of the scouting reports and knowing, their pitchers, but we're different. Obviously we're, that seems like years ago, and I'm sure for them as well. We're both different clubs now, but it's probably a little easier than a team that you haven't seen, and all you'll see is video. So being a little familiar with them certainly I think helps. But at the end of the day, it's less about scouting reports. It's less. All the teams are good. Everybody can win. It's more about playing well. It's more about being able to perform, really well, when it matters the most.
I was chatting with Hunter Elliott a little bit earlier, and he said he's a guy who wants the ball in his hand for those big moments. For him to be 19 and wanting that sort of pressure on him, is it rare to see a guy like that young?
Yeah, I think so. But the guys that match that with talent like he does, and Doug Nikhazy and Drew Pomerantz and others, they're difference makers. Sometimes that's the biggest difference, and it's the one component I think in recruiting and even evaluating in the fall that it's hard until they're out there on the big stage. Who are the guys that are tough enough to make the pitches when it counts, and that's why you see a DeLucia and others that take off on the big stage that maybe Kentucky in the fall, they were good, but it was hard to decide if they were the best. And once they got the opportunity, they ran with it. But hunters, got that special, quality, that toughness, that grit, whatever adjective you want to use. Guy that wants the ball, and those guys, when again we match it up with talent, they're special.
Only 600 tickets, Coach, were given to the fans down in Hattiesburg. Obviously, pretty raucous crowd.
Mm-hmm.
What were the thoughts going through your head whenever the team drove in late that Saturday night after winning down in Hattiesburg?
Just proud, excited. The people that showed up here, at midnight, and we got a little warning, and of course, the Oxford Police Department met us at the, I guess the city limits, and closed every road going into the university here, and just to get off and just to see how excited the fans were. Obviously, we had our moment, 5 or 6 hours prior to that on the field, but to kind of relive it with them was pretty cool.
And coming back, one more question. You were able to share that moment with your daughter, and I know some of your family, and you probably had a couple of phone calls personally for you. How important was it? How special was it to
really
get
cool.
Omaha?
Yeah, really cool. They live it with you when you're a coach. They live with the wins and the losses, and as a father, sometimes that's unfortunate. You just want them to be regular kids. But I shared it on Twitter because I don't share many. I think personal moments, but that was I think really cool because I remember back. When we got back from Omaha in 2014, I hadn't seen her in a couple weeks. The last time I saw her was before the Super Regional started, and she was here and met the bus, and she was, little girl. And so, promised her we'd get back to Omaha. Didn't think it would take 7 years, but we're back.